Welcome to the Layman Economic Podcast, where we discuss personal and business financial concepts in layman terms everyday people can understand. And now, here's your host, John K. Paul.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Layman's Economics. And it's been a couple weeks or a few weeks, and on New Year's Day, I shared my advice to myself for all of 2020. And in that, it included the following. All right, so here's a quick recap. First and foremost, number one, in everything, God's will be done. All right, and number two, don't spread yourself too thin. It's better to be great at one thing than to be okay at a few. The challenge in 2020 is to resist the urge that's going to come to us to do too much. Next, we fail not for lack of planning, but for lack of focused execution. So in 2020, create plans, but be certain that there's a 3-step action plan to accomplish the plan that's put in place. Next, we talked about the Pareto principle, which is 80-20 rule, the law of the vital few, which essentially is saying in 2020, 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes. So in 2020, the focus is to put 80% of our efforts on the things that brings us success. All right, the thing that in your company, in your life, brings you the most success. Spend 80% of your time on that. All right. Next, we go to invest in yourself. This is big. A lot of us don't like to invest in ourselves, but I have an episode with a very special guest on this topic coming up pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. Lastly, give, and we'll come back to you. And don't just focus on your own interests in 2020. Be a good friend, be a good coworker, brother, sister. Give to people that would least expect it and be blessed. All right. So that's what happened. So in the whole month of January, honestly, after we taped this on New Year's Day, I believe, and released it on New Year's Day, well, I applied a little bit of the don't spread yourself too thin. So we had a break in January. So in February, we're back, and going forward, we'll be going in full steam. All right. So trying to use the 80-20 principle, trying to put these things in practice is not easy, but we got to do it. In today's episode, and in light of the recent tragic death of NBA superstar Kobe Bryant and 8 others in a helicopter in L.A., California, I want to talk a little bit about something I'm calling, or it's new. I haven't heard this before, but it's called the Mamba money mentality. The Mamba money mentality. All right. So let's break it down a little bit. So Mamba, a black mamba, for those that don't know, is a very fast, nervous, lethal, venomous, and when threatened, highly aggressive and widely considered to be the world's deadliest snake. They are calculating in their aggression to conquer their prey and be victorious. All right. Sometimes they're running away from humans. And then they're running away from humans. Sometimes they'll sting a human with their deadly venom, and they'll kill a human. But so there's a little bit of aggression that is about protection as well. But in Kobe, in his reasoning for calling himself the Black Mamba, he said, "When I step on that court, I become that mamba. I become that snake. I am that killer snake. I am stone cold, man. I'm stone cold." So he steps on that court with that mentality, and it's the mentality to kill, destroy whatever's in front of him, and stops him from whatever goals he has. So putting it all together, the Mamba money mentality is having the attitude, the mindset of a black mamba, the world's deadliest snake that is fast and aggressive when threatened, and doing that with our money. We need the Mamba mentality to be aggressive and striking death with a lethal dose of money management. We need Mamba mentality to manage our finances in a progressively aggressive manner instead of being a passive spectator. We don't become better at managing our money by waiting to see what will happen with it. We have to be aggressive. We have to be calculating. We have to be cold stone. We have to be a cold killer when it comes to getting rid of debt. And just as aggressive, we're putting ourselves in a position to create generational wealth that is passed on to our children's children. All right. So that's an aggressive mindset. That's a Mamba money mentality. We got to go get it. We got to be aggressive. This is with money as well as life. Kobe is being mourned now by people all over the world, and they're mourning his passing. It was tragic. It was like, man, I remember I was coming from church when this happened. I was in the car and I just saw, I think it was CNN. No, it was BBC News that had a notification on my phone, and it said the longtime all-star NBA player Kobe Bryant has died in a helicopter crash. And I'm like, what? I'm saying, wow. And then I quickly showed the phone to my wife, and we were both shocked. But he's being mourned by all sorts of people all over the world. And, as great of a basketball player he is being mourned by the aggressive Mamba approach to being a family man, a father, and mentor to many. And I think that's what people are remembering. Most everything people talk about, they talk about how aggressive he was on the basketball court. There's so many memories of that for people who both were Laker fans or Laker haters. There's a lot of memories of those things. But really what people are remembering mostly is how much of a family man he was, how much time he was spending, cultivating and putting time into his daughters. We see the one with Gia who passed away with him in basketball, but it doesn't mean that he wasn't just as aggressive with his other daughter, with his oldest daughter, who's a volleyball player. But that's an inspiring legacy for all of us. And so that's what is being mourned. So that's the Mamba kind of mentality that's being mourned. And like for me, as I raise a family of 5 children, 2 boys, 3 girls, it's an inspiration to lock it up, and be Mamba-like in what I give to them as a father, and also to be, Mamba-like in what I give to my wife as a husband, so all that comes into play. But the Mamba money mentality is positively aggressive. It calls us to action. It calls us to be great. It calls us to be aware of all aspect of our money game and aggressively attack it to be a champion in the way that we deal with it. As we come to a close on this episode, let us commit to having a mentality to be great every day in all aspect of life, and especially with dealing with our finances. Let us have a Mamba money mentality. We got to go get it. We got to be aggressive. Man, we got to, whether it be on defense, which is, getting rid of debt, whether it be an offense, which means looking for other sources of income and being diversified in our investments and all those things. We got to have this aggressive Mamba mentality. Man, shoot, I'm ready to put on some basketball shorts and going out here and playing a little bit, man. But I don't know, the way these old knees and legs are set up, it's not gonna let me be great. But Mamba mentality, all right, Mamba money mentality in 2020. Let's do it, and let's get focused. Let's get our stuff right, and let's do everything in our power to not just sit back and let life dictate, what happens. And, let's just spin our way to stuff and just, let's see what happens. Nope. Let's have a Mamba money mentality, which is aggressive, which means we got to go get it. We got to go after it. We got to fix whatever we need to fix. We got to be great at it. All right. So that's it for today. Thanks for listening. To keep this discussion going, please feel free to contact me at info@laymanseconomics.com, or you can catch me on the Facebook page, Layman's Economics. I'm also on Instagram, Layconomics, which is LAYCONOMICS, Layconomics. So I'm also on Twitter. You can find me there, JKPaul44. Okay, so thank you all for listening. It's been great, 2020 so far, in spite of, January setbacks globally and everything that's happened. We started off the year with almost a war in Iran, and we got Kobe news and we got all these other news. Man, January was kind of rough. But hey, it's not how we start, it's how we finish. So let's finish up strong and don't let outside things interfere with being locked down and focused. Mamba money mentality in 2020. All right. Thank you. Layman's Economics podcast, of course, is sponsored by ICFO Consulting, a comprehensive accounting ministry with a vision to equip nonprofits, churches, and small businesses with the accounting tools necessary to make an impact in their communities. All right. Check us out on line at icfoonline.com, icfoonline.com. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.